He was holding a noose in his hand, and as I approached, he looked up at me, his eyes dark and foreboding. He leaned in close and whispered, "Do you know why they call me the Hangman?" Welcome. It was a dark and stormy night. The kind of night that made me want to stay inside and never venture out. But I had to work. And so I found myself walking down the deserted streets towards my office. The rain pounded against my umbrella, making it difficult to see where I was going. As I walked, I heard a sound that sent a chill down my spine. It was the sound of a rope creaking in the wind, the sound of something swinging back and forth. I turned towards the source of the sound, and I saw a figure standing in the shadows. It was hard to make out in the darkness, but as I got closer, I could see that it was a man dressed in old-fashioned clothes. He was holding a noose in his hand, and as I approached, he looked up at me, his eyes dark and foreboding. I could feel my heart pounding in my chest as he spoke in a voice that seemed to come from another time. "Welcome, my friend," he said. "I've been waiting for you." I froze in fear as he ordered me to come closer. I tried to turn and run, but my legs felt heavy, as if they were rooted to the ground. The hangman took a step closer, his breath hot on my face. I could see his rotting teeth and the maggots that crawled in and out of his decaying flesh. He leaned in close and whispered, "Do you know why they call me the Hangman?" I couldn't speak, couldn't move. I was trapped, a prisoner in my own body. The hangman chuckled, his eyes gleaming with malice. "I'm going to show you," he said, and before I knew it, he had slipped the noose over my head. I struggled, but it was no use. The noose tightened around my neck, cutting off my air supply. I could feel myself gasping for breath, my vision growing dim. In my last moments, I saw the hangman's face, contorted in a grotesque smile, his eyes glowing with an unholy light. And then everything went black. When I woke up, I was in my own bed, gasping for air. It was just a nightmare, I told myself. Just a bad dream. It was the same nightmare again. The one where the hangman comes for me. I tried to shake off the feeling of dread that was consuming me, but I couldn't. It had been years since I committed the crime, but the guilt and the shame never left me. And now it seemed the hangman had come to collect. I was in desperate need of money, and I did something awful. That's when the nightmare started. Every night I would dream about the people who I had affected by my actions. I could see the disappointment in my family's eyes, and I could hear the whispers of my friends as they talked about me behind my back. One night, I woke up to the sound of a rope creaking outside my window. I lived on the top floor of an apartment building, so I knew it couldn't be a person. I slowly walked over to the window and looked outside. That's when I saw him, the hangman. He was hanging from a tree, his eyes locked onto mine. I could feel the weight of his stare, and I knew he was there for me. After that night, I would see him everywhere, in my dreams, on the street, even in my own reflection. He was a constant reminder of my past, and I knew that I deserved whatever punishment he had in store for me. I shook my head. I decided to get up and walk to the bathroom to splash some water on my face. Maybe that would help calm me down and fall back asleep. As I stood in front of the mirror, I froze. I saw bruises around my neck, as if I had really been strangled by a noose. And in the back of my mind, I could still hear the hangman's voice whispering his terrible secrets.